Good morning. It's a Saturday morning, January 6th. I was out taking care of the cattle right before the sun was coming up at one of my pastures here, and I discovered that not one but two vehicles had driven through my fence. They obviously slid off the road, and one idiot decided to drive through the fence, keep going, and exit the pasture through another part of the fence. So obviously I'd like to find these people, but which I'm going to go hunting for somebody, go knock on some doors, because slide off the fence, you slide off the road, mess up somebody's fence, you ought to be fixing it, at least let somebody know. I got cattle in here, so this kind of pisses me off, but let me show you what happened. So you can see right here where the guy went sliding through the fence. Show you that here behind me. Look right there. So couple vehicles here. So it looks like we had three different vehicles. Slid right through there. And what this was old dilapidated stock fence here. Okay, and on the inside of that, a couple strands of high tensile. So you can see the high tensiles, you gotta go find it. Had it mounted. Here's a fiberglass rod, a sucker rod. So you have to walk up here and see where the hell this fence is at. You're gonna have to splice it together. Of course, nice cold day. I think it's gonna get to be about 5 degrees today. Probably could still use that post. So here's a couple strands here, high tensile. Okay, they look like they're probably attached at the other end still. Okay. Walk down over here. You can see what happened was, this happened a couple days ago, obviously. I'm just finding out about it. I hadn't been over to this side of the pasture. Luckily the cattle are close to about a half a mile north of here right now. And they're closed off from this area for the winter, so that helps. However, the electricity, the current, flows along this line up to where the cattle are. I had an insulator tied here. And you can see the busted the porcelain insulators right off of that. So yeah, insulators were here, so you have to do that. Let's see what one guy did. Yeah, here's one of the insulators way over here. So just gonna have to sort this out here, find out what happened. Ground's froze, so not gonna be able to put any new posts in the ground. But it does look like my posts are all still here. And then you can see what this guy did. He drove here, it's kind of drifted over. That's why I know this happened a day or two ago. And then had to drive, couldn't just exit where he drove in, had to drive out here. And I got fence right out here by the road. You see this mess right here, all tangled up here. So guy did a number on it. So we're gonna have to get this all organized. You can see it's snapped here. There's a tensioner, inline tensioner. So I've got a lot of tools with me. I'm gonna have to run over to the barn about 3/4 of a mile away and grab some supplies. And let's go get some fence repair supplies. Nice thing about this high tensile is you can patch this stuff together pretty easy, but gotta get it fixed. Problem is it's cold out here, and I gotta use my hands a lot to do this. Okay, to do this electric fence properly, you gotta have a lot of equipment ready to go. Got some insulators. The main thing we're going to need is some of these these clips to hold the wire onto the post. As you can see, I've got quite a collage of material here. Okay, I think we're ready. Okay, it's not making any sense here at all to me. What the hell's going on with this wire? It's all tangled up. One thing, this high tensile wire, I don't know, it gets tangled up, just cut it. It's easy enough to splice. So, I'm going to put this old dead elm post is still solid. Probably got another couple years to use this as a corner. So, here's where the insulators were tied. I'm just going to retie to that. I'm using high tensile. Buy these crescent U-shaped insulators. They're a lot stronger. The wire pulls through them easier. So, yeah, what happened was when those cars crashed through, they just untied where I had the insulator tied. So, just put a new insulator on. So this is how we do this. Gotta tie it. These are kind of thick gloves to use for doing this. Hook is grabbing everything, so you know what? That hook's going bye-bye. Okay, there's an insulator all done, ready to go. Do this other one, this bottom one. And then, you know, that's not a bad way to do it, really, is let the insulators bust. And then it saves your post. You know, so that's what you want to do. Let the insulators bust when you get a heavy tension. One of the big mistakes people make is they make this fence too tight. And when something does go through it, it just destroys everything. Okay? 5 or 6 wraps around. And always wear safety glasses when you're messing with this high tensile wire. This stuff's got a lot of kinetic energy in it. Get let loose. You get hit in the eye, it'll take your eye out. It's a special high carbon steel wire. It's just not an average wire. Okay, now originally this bent around here was one continuous piece, but I got wire clear out in the field, had wire out there on the road in the snowbank. So we're gonna go ahead and see if I can figure out what's going on here with this. Let me show you a little bit here. I'll make sure. I'm gonna start tie this top wire first. Here's the top wire. You see it going all the way over there. Okay. I'm gonna pull this kind of tight. Keep my hand on it. You don't want these wires crisscrossed. Okay. Now, let me grab the top insulator. I am going to tie this top wire, this top insulator. And I tell you what, that elm, that dead elm, all the elm gets a certain size in this part of the country, and it gets that Dutch elm disease and dies. So, but that'll last. Yeah, that's good for another couple years. I'm just going to tie this as well. I'm going to leave the tail on because that's going to be a jumper wire. I'm going to connect, have some connectivity between the top and bottom wires. Okay, this is my bottom wire here. Might have the wires crossed. Let's go take a look. Make sure you don't got these wires crossed. So I am now trying to find, let's see here. That was this top wire. And the top wire, as I go ahead right now, put this on this post, this clip. These are fiberglass sucker rods used in the oil drilling industry. They're great for line posts. Yeah, I've got to firm that up. But right now, all these line posts do is they have to hold this wire up. It's just a suspension fence. Everything is really in your corners. Let's get this pulled tight here. Okay, let me clip it back up on here. Got these clips. This post kind of turned. I don't know if we'll be able to turn it or not. It kind of spun around here. There we go. Place that there, and you wrap these around. Can't do it one-handed. Okay, so you don't want that too tight. You want that wire to slide through there because I got to tension this up yet. Now I got a kink here. That ain't gonna work. That's got to get cut and then crimped. The kink is brittle, it'll break. We'll walk over and get the crimpers. Okay, so that accident's several hundred yards that way. it ended up yanking this wire off the corner over here. So loosen up tension on the wire. I don't know if I can stretch this wire over there. Doesn't look like I'm gonna be able to stretch it that far. So that explains my extra wire. So I'm going to have to cut this and splice some wire over and get over here and retie this corner now. So got a lot of work to do here. Alright, well, gotta get some wire. I always keep a spool of wire at every farm. Loaded this up on load the spinning jenny up on the truck and make a new corner over there. So again, just like at the other corner, the insulator got pulled right off. But I still got wire here, so it goes to that black walnut tree. So I'm just gonna go ahead and tie an insulator. This bottom one stayed on. And you can see I use the donut style porcelain here as well. When you do this though, you do need a jumper wire. Not sure why I don't have a jumper wire here, but you want a jumper wire between here to here, even though those are sort of touching. So you don't have that jumper wire, and you don't have them tied together, you'll get a bunch of arcing, get a bunch of burning and heat across that. After years of arcing, might burn up that insulator. Possibly, I've heard people say it burn a hole in the wire, but I've never seen it, but it will on poly wire, I can tell you that. So these insulators are easier to find, but I don't like them as much. So I'm going to use that crescent U-shaped insulator again. I had to order those on Amazon, by the way. That's the only way I could get them. TSC used to carry them years ago. You can't find them anymore. So this is what you want. Wire pulls through these. And these are stronger. I read that these are actually designed for high tensile. All right, I'll get to work. And there you go. That's a nice tie. If you get a heavy snow load over on the west side of the state, where one of my electric fence supplier guys lives, he uses the donut style. He wraps twice around there, plus puts a crimp. If you get heavy snow load, it pulls this fence down. It'll untie the insulator, just like how this accident untied these. A couple winters ago, we got 100 inches of snow, and I did have fence just sag right down and drifts, and I actually did have some insulators come untied. So again, I'd rather have them untied. It's a lot quicker than me crimping. Not sure if the crimp is stronger or not, but you know, some people do use a tie it and crimp, and it holds up against the snow better. Okay, so the mistake I made here was I didn't come down to this end of the fence before I started working on the other one, and I cut the fence too short. So I got to add some wire here. I got the spinning jenny way over in my truck, got the wire ran right there. Okay, I got this corner done. Here's a jumper wire. That's what I was talking about these jumper wires. That jumper wire across there. Now this side's got to get pulled up from the other side, still disconnected. And here is a crimp where I spliced extra wire on. So that's a three crimp. So they had to put about 15 feet on. Okay, so now at this other end, pretty close to where the crashes came. The crash to the fence was over there. So getting this finished here, but when I tightened up the wire, it wasn't staying here on this, so it's pulling off. So it's not going to be strong enough. It's not really, you can see that fiberglass post isn't really in line with the wire. Wire wants to be out there. So I'm going to do a neat little trick. I'm going to use this insulator. wrap it around the wire like this, and I'm going to tie it off over there, and going to pull that wire. So that's another thing. You use these insulators a lot as a corner, tying it off to something else. Okay, this line is up, and I got to drive back down to the other corner to make sure everything's organized down there. Okay, this corner's pulled up tight, so that looks good. Okay, let's see if I can finish this up before dark. It's starting to get cold out here now. Okay, this is where I started this morning, and so this line is up and going, now I gotta walk down that other end and see if everything's attached good. If it is, should be a matter of just stretching some wires here and tying them off. Okay, wire is broke right here. So about 100 yards up would be the other corner, the other end. So those 3 cars went through, they broke basically about 4 different corners. Insulators got ripped off. So now it's go time. I gotta get this done before dark. So a little bit more work. Okay, that's a good sign. 8400 volts. Thanks for watching. In this, it's about 4:30 in the afternoon. I started this project about 11 o'clock a.m. So finally done, and everything is finally working. So these guys did a number on my fence. 3 vehicles went through it, and it didn't really help that one guy drove in and then found another spot to drive out. Just totally screwed my fence up. So, but again, well, you never know what you're going to run into. You show up to the pasture in the morning. Sometimes electric fence is down just because there's a short in the fence, and you got to go find that. So, but this isn't a typical day. Usually I don't have this much fence work to do in one day unless I'm putting up new fence. But anyways, good weekend, and thanks for watching.